Be honest, it's happened to all of us, hasn't it? You know, who's ever worked for anybody, a bit of a mogul, that sort of thing. They want their own way, and you have to go along with it, even though you possibly know it's not the right moment, the right climate, or indeed simply just a rubbish idea. But we've all needed to be paid, so of course you go along with it. I remember working in the record industry years ago and being played these new tracks from, you know, very established artists, and they'd say, this is going to be big, and you think, no, it's totally the wrong sound, it's totally the wrong vibe, all that sort of stuff. But of course, I did once break cover and say, I don't think this is going to work. A chill went over the room, you know. I learned that lesson. Never ever disagree with a billionaire, multi-millionaire record producer, because you're never going to win. The only thing that you're going to win at is losing your job. You get the picture. This is now the problem, of course, if you are Meghan Markle, because you literally believe in yourself to such an extent. Everybody else has to be wrong. I mean, you know, it's sad to say, but it is. It's the case. You know, you've attained so much, you believe, in your life, all through marriage, of course. There's no feminist there. She just married money, you know, married a rich producer. He got her on, and now she married into royalty, and he got her on. That's the deal. It's as simple as that. But of course, to Meghan, she's a feminist. You get the picture. But moving forward, it looks like things are now literally coming off the wheels, because as she now tries to become this lifestyle brand operator, influencer, whatever you want to call it, I hate those expressions really. You're just running a company and you're trying your very best. You see, she's struggling to find somebody to run the company with her. And this is where it gets very tricky, because what you need is a CEO, as I say, somebody who can balance it, you know, and say, well, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to make it a success. Now, Meghan's had numerous meetings with numerous people, potentially who are going to be these people, these individuals. And it's interesting to see when you think about it, because there's one or two aspects of it that, you know, she won't have a word against it. And this is now what I found out from talking to a couple of people that were initially interested, but then very professionally declined, you know, moved back, didn't bother pursuing it any further. It's already down to this. As we know, Meghan decided that she wanted to launch herself without any fanfare, just popping up on Instagram. And then this, the jams, the selective 50 jars of jams, that really just defunct, fell apart. Nobody was really interested in. Celebrities you couldn't bite. Just an absolute shambles, you know. I mean, I'm not being unkind, but it's just kind of like you have to have your rows in place, your ducks in place if you want to sell something. Meghan just thought this was going to be great. The manufacturers would come forward, the sponsorship deals would come forward. It's all a mess. Now, according to that source, and as ever we have to say allegedly, the problem is you're not allowed to mention any failure in the chat. And this is because, you know, this is her team apparently, because, you know, everything is deemed a success. Everything from the bench, everything from, you know, all the documentaries, everything really she's actually done. Even the stress batches apparently have been deemed a great success. So how on earth can you work with somebody like that if you're not allowed to criticize? Because clearly the jams were a disaster. Clearly the idea on Instagram and American Riviera and all that was just rubbish. But, you know, you've got to take a step back and say, actually, this is not working, but this is what we could do to recorrect it and put you on the right path. According to that source, none of that. You have to say that that was good. You like the idea because they were all driven by her. And if you want a part of the company, this is what you're going to have to do. Now, I would say, as a business person myself, who's run many different companies along the way, you have to say to yourself, does this work to the general public? If you can't be honest with yourself, then it's simply not going to work. And that truly, according to that very well-placed source, is the reason why Meghan Markle, to this day, is simply struggling to find anybody at CEO level who wishes to take on this brand new brand. Will she ever learn? Or indeed, as this source told me, it's all very well agreeing, but at what point does the money run out? Not just for her or the CEO, but for the idea. Interesting. I'd love to know your thoughts as ever in the comments below, and please do like and share. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.